Hey everyone, it's Tom from WPWithTom.com, and today I'm going to be doing a sponsored review of Oxygen 2.0, the visual site builder taking the world of WordPress by storm. So in this review, I'm going to basically cover how to make a site with Oxygen, and I'm going to kind of go through the aspects of their visual builder because it's a little bit different than what most people have probably experienced with visual builders, but I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I'm going to get into that more as I go throughout this tutorial. So if you want to pick up Oxygen, you can do so at oxygenbuilder.com, and they have all kinds of things here. They have support, help, and tutorials, and you can actually view a little bit more about the product here as well. So to get started, let's just dive into the dashboard of WordPress. And I'm just going to be doing this on a subdomain name that I just created right now. And to get started, you're going to actually install it. So Oxygen 2.0 is a plugin. So if we just go to Plugins, Add New, we can go to Upload Plugin, and we're just going to select the Oxygen plugin builder right here. So there it is, Oxygen 2.0, and we're going to install now. Now this may take a moment to install. And then I'm going to activate the plugin here. And now you're going to be given two different options to choose from. It says, welcome to Oxygen. Please choose an installation type. So you can go with a pre-made website, and this is recommended. And for a lot of people out there, this might be the better route to go, especially if you're new to WordPress or newer to WordPress. I know that a lot of my videos on YouTube are oriented to people that are newbies or new to WordPress, so this may be the way to go for many of you. And you can actually browse the library and check out some of these pre-made layouts, which I'm going to do here in a second. But then you can also do a blank installation, and this is for pro designers or people that are maybe more experienced with WordPress, I would say, or if you're familiar with HTML, CSS, all that kind of stuff. So this would be more up your alley, I think, for a blank installation. But before I do that, I'm going to just go into the browser library of pre-made websites here. And we can see that there's a variety to choose from. Right now they have 9 at this time. I think they're going to be adding more, and they've already actually added more in the last couple of weeks. So I think they're going to continue to add more. And I hope that's something they definitely continue to do, because the more the better in terms of options to choose as your design set. But I wanted to show you what you could actually have. Now if we go to just view a demo of it, you can see what you're getting into. And if you install it, you can have a website that looks like this right off the bat, and basically you'll just have to do a little bit of editing to get it to look how you really want. If you're having something like a client that someone like a client that wants to have a website set up quickly, or you want to have something that you could present maybe in a pinch to a client, say you're behind or you have multiple projects going on, you can present them something like this and just edit it based on their needs. Maybe edit the text, edit some of the images here based on their needs, and just give them an idea of what you're putting together for a project for them. So that's something that would work out really well, and that's just an example. There's definitely going to be some differences between each one, so I suggest that you check them out. I kind of like ones with a big like hero image like this, so I would prefer something like this if I was going to be creating probably from scratch. And it's pretty awesome that there's a lot of features involved in it, and it can get you started with basically this template to work off of and edit really easily. So it's a great way to get started quickly with WordPress and with building out your site. So I'm actually going to just click back here, and I'm going to go with the blank installation in my case. So once we click this blank installation, we're going to be brought into WordPress, and now we can see that here's the Oxygen builder that's been installed. It's on the left sidebar here. And if we go to Home, we can see that there's this page here with, it says adding new pages. You can add pages right here, which I'm going to get into. If you wanted to go back and use one of those templates, you can do that right here by clicking install a website on the right side. And then there's some other options down here. I'm going to get started with adding new pages just to get the ball rolling here and start creating a website. So if we wanted to, I'm going to just call this one Home, and I will publish it. And once you click publish, you're brought to this screen here, and it says edit with Oxygen. So instead of having like a builder icon like Divi has up here where it says like use visual builder or use this builder for Divi Builder like in the back end, you're going to have this where you just hit publish and then you have the option to edit with Oxygen. And it is a visual builder from the front end, so it's going to be interesting to see how that stacks up in comparison to some other ones you may have used before. I personally really like this over the visual builders that are with Elementor and Divi, and I'm not just saying that because it's a sponsored review. I think it gives you a lot of nice aspects to work with, and we'll get into that now. Well, if you wanted to first add a template, which we don't have any right now, you could do that here and use shortcodes as well. But let's get started with editing with Oxygen. We'll click that button, and it will take a little bit to load, but then you'll be ready to go. So in this part, you're going to see all these options here. You have this add button, you have structure up here, which is going to come into play a lot. If you want to go back to WordPress, you can do that. And the big button right here is save. So save and add are maybe the two most important buttons here, and structure is also important as well. I like that it's kind of a simple layout here at the top and not a whole lot of options to get bogged down with when you're actually trying to create a website. So to get started, let's click add. And you can see there's different sections here: basics, helpers, WordPress, library, reusable. And you can see that within these options there's other categories. So there's containers here within the basic section, text, links, visual, and there's other. In helpers we have helper builder, all these different options for composite, dynamic, interactive, external. Now WordPress, you have different options in here as well. And you have options within, like you can use widget options, things like this. So there's a lot of options within the actual WordPress options that are going to come within basically any WordPress theme. And then in the library here we have design sets and atomic. So I like to go into the atomic set here and just show you some of the elements that they have. And there's lots of different elements here that you can just add right into your theme or your design here to get started. So to do that, let's just start with something simple. Let's go with a header, and we'll put a header up here, and it's going to be similar to the one we just saw probably. So let's just do this one right here. A little bit different. So you can see that the header was just added in right there for us to use, and it already has everything set up ready to go. So if we wanted to, we can go and make it sticky if we want, and we can have it stuck to the top. We'll see what that looks like here in a sec. Now let's just go back and we'll hit add again, and I'm going to add in some other sections. So let's add a hero, and I'm going to add this one, the hero with the background video. So I'm actually not going to put a video link in this, but I want to show you basically how it works with editing this area. So if we wanted to, we can click on here and go to structure. Structure, again, I said is going to be very important. If we look here, we have the header logo center, and that's up here. If you want to click on one of these buttons, you can actually see where it's at. It says header row and number 3. So if we click on that, we can see there's the left side, and if you see it highlights around where you're at. The center, see where it's highlighted around the Oxygen now, and then if you see right, there it is with the login and sign up section highlighted. So that's really good to see which one you're actually working in. I think that's a great thing that they did, because it makes it, without question, you know where you're at on the site and where you're working in. So if we wanted to go into this hero section, let's just click on that, and we can see right here's the heading. If you want to edit the heading, it's really cool because you can just do it right on the screen. And let's just click in there, and I'm going to write welcome to my site. And you can add whatever text you want in there. This is just for examples, but next, if you wanted to, you can do something with this icon. So if you want to, you can delete the icon, and I'm just going to show you. If I delete it, it says delete, you deleted icon. And if you want to undo it, you can. You can click undo, and then it will come right back. So I really like that feature, and I like that it's in red. I know that might be something silly, but I like that it stands out to you, and you can see right away, like, oh man, maybe I didn't want to do that, or it doesn't look good. So I'm going to go and bring that back. And if you want to, you can also change the icon as well, and you can change the text down here. I'm not going to go into changing that text too much, but let's just click on the image itself. So if we click on the hero background and play section here, we can scroll down and see different options. If you want to change the alignment, you can do that. You can align it to whatever side. That comes in handy sometimes if you have an image where it will look better on a certain part of the image. Like the image is the main thing you want to focus is on, let's say the right side, and you want the text to be to the left of it. So that can come in handy if you move the text to the left. And if we want to, we can go to advanced here. And I like to mess around in this part. I think it would be nice to change the image. So let's just change the background image here to be something else. And I'll go to the library. I already added some images here. And let's just add this one here. And this is actually a SpaceX picture that they had. So if you wanted to, you can change the image overlay, the background color, all different things like that. So let's go to the image overlay here. And I'm going to reduce that image overlay all the way because I want the real color. And I think that makes it look like a nice feature here. Now if we wanted to at this point, you could click something save to save it, and you'll have a better idea what it looks like when you X out of the structure section. You can see like, wow, there's the featured image and this is what the menu would look like. If you want to change these links, anything like that, you can do that easily by going into structure again and going up here and changing them within the drop down. So if you want to open a drop down and close it, it's right here again. And so let's go and add another section here to continue building out the site. So let's say you want to add let's go with something like people, and I'll add a section with people. Let's hit meet the team here. And now this meet the team was just added in between the header and the hero image. So let's actually change that. So if you want to shift where that is, you can go and click on the hero image and then drag it up and then drop it in here. So now you can see it goes header, logo, and the hero image, and then the team. So if you want to move it around, you can easily do that by dragging it and dropping it. Now the team's at the top. So that's a great feature to have, to easily be able to move things around. You can actually do it in here as well, but I think it's a little easier to navigate in the structure section. Just by playing around with it, that's kind of what I prefer to use. And if we wanted to, we can edit the text or edit images here. You can simply just click on one, click browse, and change it. Within here, you can add another image. I don't really have an image that works too well in there, but you can do that as well if you want to change the team members. And if we wanted to, we can go back to add again, and we can add, let's say we want to add a footer, and I'll add something pretty standard. I'll do something like that. Now if you want to close these sections to get a little less confusing or less jumbled, you can do that. Now you have that added there. I'm going to add one more section in between there as well, just to have some more content. And let's go with something like that. And now I have to move it up again, just as I did with the other one. So now we can see what it looks like. So something to note, if you see this area become purple like that, you can actually expand it and expand the width between each section. If you want it buttoned up right next to it, you can do that as well, if you like everything close together. I know I make a lot of one-page WordPress websites, and I like to have the text almost right up to the section, so there's not a huge break between the sections. Something I do is I'll go like a light gray, and then I'll make the next section like a white, and then I'll make the next section light gray. You could do that here as well and change the background color of each section to basically make it divide each section up from one another. And I like to have things buttoned up like that, so I'm going to leave it. If you want to go into the text, again, it's so easy to manipulate the text in here. You can just go over and change the alignment of the text if you'd like. They had it to the left by default. I'm going to move it to the center, and here I'm going to just move that to the left, which doesn't do a whole lot, but you can actually change that as well if you'd like it to be more or less. So I'm going to put it center actually and just leave it. So another thing you can do is you can add, let's add a gallery. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to go to where it says helpers, and I'm going to add a gallery. So before I actually select where I want to add that, I'm going to make sure I'm not like in this little box here or something like that. I'm going to be, let's just click on the footer section as a whole, or let's click on this one as a whole. and then I'll go and add a gallery. So let's go to add, and then I'm going to be in helpers and add gallery here. And now the gallery is by default added in here. Now if I want to add some images to this gallery, I can hit browse, and let's just select a bunch of them. And I'm just going to hit create new gallery. So if I do that, you're going to be prompted, so you can add a caption to the images if you want within the gallery. I'm just going to click insert gallery. And this will take a moment because the pictures are a little larger, so bear with me while this loads. Alright, so now they are basically loaded. The last one's loading still right now, and as you can see, because it's not an even number of images, that this bottom one became large, and you can actually choose how to work that if you'd like. So let's just go over to where it says layouts here, and then you can choose how many images are per row. So let's just say in total I have 13 images here. So let's just say it's not going to work out well with 13, but let's just say I wanted 3 in a row. You can see what it will look like with 3 in a row, and maybe I'll decide like I don't want this image anymore. I can click on advanced, and if I go to primary here, I'm going to just delete this last one here. So I'm going to delete 11, and that will take out that bottom image here. And now we're left with basically the correct amount of images, or an even amount of images that fits well within this picture here, within this gallery here. So that's one way that you can do it. If we go back to where it says primary, and go to layout, we can choose different images per row. As we went over, you can change it to be a masonry grid, which can look a little bit different, but it looks pretty good with this one. It fits pretty well. So masonry is just not going to fit exact, but it will make the images fit well. And then you can change the space around the image. So this is kind of a common thing to do with both masonry or with a flex layout as it is here, and to remove the space entirely. If you want just a little bit of space, you can maybe add like 5 pixels around each image, or maybe even a little less, like 3. So you can see what it looks like. I would prefer to have 0 or 10 probably. I like how this looks, and it is a pretty common thing to do now with galleries, is to make them kind of shaped like this where there's not any space between them. It's a popular trend in the design. So that's a way that you can have that set up as well. Now, if you're happy with how the site looks, you can obviously add more text and edit things. I would maybe add a header in here as well for the gallery section. So if we just go to basics, text, and I'm going to click on here, and it says heading. I'm going to move the heading above the gallery. And now if you see the headings above the gallery, and you can go and change where the heading is. So right now it's an H1, which I like, and the heading has been added here to the top. So if you want to, you can edit it, and you can actually shift it around up here with any of these options. So now that we see the heading is added here, we can change it if we'd like. So I'm just going to write gallery images or something. So that's how you would edit the heading here for this section. And then once you're done with it, you can click off of it. So if you also want it, you can change the font size to be bigger or smaller, and you can actually put exactly what you want. I'm going to leave it at 60 just for this. It's going to be an H1 tag. If you want to change the font weight, you can do that as well. So let's just say you want it to be 400. For an H1, you probably want it to be a little more, but I'll leave it at 700 here, and I'll just click save, just to kind of save what we've done so far with the progress we've made through this site and just building this out at this point. So you can see right now what we've got. I'm going to X out of the structure so we can see it a little bit larger here. And so we have this welcome to the site, and this is where you would have your video. Now if you're happy with the overall look and feel of the site, you can definitely save it and be done with it. I'm going to just make sure the gallery images is in there. I might reduce that font if I was really making this for myself, but I'm just going to save it now. And I'm going to go back to the admin. And now here I want to show you that if you went and clicked visit site and open it in a new tab, that your page is just going to look blank right now. So you need to change something to get your page to actually go into effect. So you have to go into settings, reading, and then you're going to have to find this where it says a static page and find your home page, and it will say home in this case, and I'll save the changes, which might take a second. And then once it's updated, it says settings saved, and then you can refresh this home page here, and there it is. There's your new site. And right now the menu only has home in it. Again, if you wanted to add more pages, you can do that. And now it has Oxygen centered home, has the nice image, and we'd have a video linked here which you can do within that section. The team members, and then we go down here. Here's the gallery after we have this content section. If you want to, you can click on these images as well, and you can see the default footer that we had down there as well. So it's pretty nice that you can just set this up quickly, and that's how you'd have it go into effect, by changing that in the dashboard. Again, I want to go into the builder and just kind of summarize things here. So to do that, let's just go to pages, and I'm going to go to home, hit edit, and I'm going to click edit with Oxygen one last time here. So overall with Oxygen Builder, I think that the 2.0 release has been a big step up for them from their original builder. I know their original builder was a little bit clunky and kind of hard to use. I actually messed around with it roughly, I guess, a year ago when I was doing a lot more design. And I think this one's a big step up for it. I do think there could be some things that are a little bit easier as far as navigation and ease of use for people that are just getting started with it. But at the same time, I've only been using the new builder because it just came out for a few days now, and it is something that's going to take a little bit of time to get used to. So I think it's an ideal scenario for someone who wants to make a website quickly for a client. Like I said, I've been in a pinch before where I really had a lot of projects going on, and I needed to be able to show people basically like a sketch or a design or an outline of what I was going to be creating. And something like this would have made it a little bit easier for me to provide that for someone. And I could have done it quickly or almost like right on the spot for somebody as well if it really came down to it. So that's a big plus. And in my opinion, it's a lot easier to set up and use than a visual builder that so many websites run on. So I think it's definitely a step up as far as a visual editor goes. I do love the flexibility that it gives with the entire design process, but again, I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to for most people. Additionally, I'd like to see more design sets and atomic elements added with different section elements, and I definitely expect them to do this over the next few months here, or maybe the next year or so, to add a lot more of these elements and sections to it. But I think these design sets and atomic elements are basically the direction that WordPress is going in. If you see what a lot of builders do, like Divi, or let's just say Elementor or something like this, Divi has layout packs, and they're building in a direction that layout packs are becoming more and more important. And I think this is going to be something that Oxygen needs to focus on here. As more people begin to use this builder, I think it'll become more beneficial to have more and more different atomic elements or design sets to work off of. If you have a template that you can just start off of that looks nice and you can just edit and have a website done in like 30 minutes, that's a better option than Wix. That's a better option than basically any page builder out there if you can do that and do it well. And I think that's definitely the direction that they're going in, and that the industry is going in as a whole as far as WordPress goes. So that's definitely something I'd like to see more of, and I expect them to do this, but the faster they can do it, the better, in my opinion. So I hope you enjoy this Oxygen 2.0 review, and I hope you found it beneficial. If you want to, you can check out oxygenbuilder.com for more resources, and we can do that here, and it has a lot of things going on there. They have their own YouTube channel as well, and if you actually watch the video here, you can find their YouTube channel that way, or you can just search for Oxygen Builder and it should come up. They also have a growing Facebook community, and they have thousands of users now, and I expect that to keep growing as Oxygen becomes more and more popular. This is, again, a great option for people that want to get websites up quickly, and I do think that if you play around with it and start to get it down, you might not even want to go back or use other page builders going forward. I really think it could be that good if you master it. I always say that you should try to master one builder and just go with that, or one theme or one element of WordPress and just focus on that. If you can really master and get down how to use Oxygen, maybe that might be the only one you need going forward. And the price point right now at least is very good for customers, so I would definitely suggest taking a look at it for yourself and maybe following some of the tutorials that they have on Oxygen's own YouTube channel to become more fluent and more versed in using the actual product itself. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for viewing, everyone. Have a great day.